Hey there, Saki here from Sakitech, and in today's video I would like to share 10 plus tips and tricks for the Google Pixel or the Pixel XL. I will be using the Pixel XL in this video for demonstration, but all tips equally apply to the Pixel as well. These are fast, snappy, and fantastic phones, and I wanted to quickly share 10 really neat tips and tricks that you need to know to enhance your use of this superb phone. Let's dive in and discover. So in the first tip, I want to show you how to change the color of your keyboard. So let's launch Chrome over here. And as you can see, the color for the keyboard in this case is blue, and the keys even have a border surrounding them. So if you want to change this to a different color, all you have to do is go into the settings, and then you have to scroll down to language and input right over here, and then you tap on virtual keyboard, tap on the Google keyboard because that is a keyboard that is the default keyboard with all Pixel phones. So tap on it, go into theme, and that brings up the menu in which you can change the colors. If I scroll down, you can see there's a check mark next to the color that I'm using right now. So let's switch this to red right now, and you can see a real-time preview on the top, and you can also disable the key borders. So if I tap this, it becomes borderless keyboard. The keys don't have a border, so that's something that you would want to choose if it appeals to you. And you don't have to save this, it's all ready to go. As soon as you tap on one of these keyboards, it's ready to go. So I tap on this, I go back out, back into that website, boom, you've got the red keyboard with no borders. Fantastic. The next tip has to do with the app drawer. So basically you pull from bottom to top and it brings up the app drawer. The app drawer has three components. You've got the search apps functions over here, then you have suggested apps over here. These are apps that your Pixel phones suggest for you, or the apps that you use frequently also show up over here on this top bar. And then there's a line over here, and that divides your actual apps, and all your apps are right here. So you do have three components. What you can do is you can disable the suggested apps in case you don't need them. So go back out, press and hold on the home screen, go into settings, and then simply disable app suggestions. So tap this, turn off, get out. Now when you go back in, you only have two components left, which is search apps and your app drawer, and the app suggestions is gone. And I'm sure you guys are aware of the Google Assistant, and you're also aware of the Google app. What Google app is, if you swipe to the right, you get this app screen, and this has suggestions for you. So it's going to feed you weather. In my case, it's showing me the calendar entry that's coming up very soon. If I go down, you have some Apple stocks and some Google stocks. I look at stocks frequently, so it knows that it should be there, and all this stuff that is related to what I like. So this is the Google app. You swipe to the right. Now, if this is something you don't like, you can also disable this guy. All you have to do is press and hold on the screen the same way you just did, go into settings, and simply disable Google app. Now, if I go back out, now as you can see, that button has changed its shape. That little extension is gone. So now I can't swipe to the right, but what I can do is I can tap on this and just bring up Google search. From here I can either search something or I can actually do a voice search, but the actual Google app is gone. And obviously if you want to re-enable that, just go back in, go to settings, tap this, go back home, and the extension is back there. Now I can swipe over, everything good to go. The next thing I want to take a look at is the live wallpaper. So let's pinch the screen. You can either pinch the screen or you can press and hold, and it serves the same function. So when you tap on wallpapers, you have a bunch of options. The first thing you will notice is on the top, it tells you exactly what is set right now as your home screen and lock screen wallpaper. But I want to talk about the live earth wallpapers and also the live data wallpapers. So let's tap on live earth over here. And as you can see, you have 8 of these wallpapers. If you tap these things, they give you a nice and beautiful animation. Now this animation actually translates into your overall use of your phone. So if I scroll over, as you can see, you get a little rotation, which actually gives you a nice, lively effect. And if I actually turn off the phone and turn it back on, you get an effect, and if I unlock the screen, I get another effect. So this looks absolutely fantastic. And if I go back in here to wallpapers, tap on Live Earth, when you click these things, it gives you nice little details over here, okay? So it tells you where it is and gives you a little history of that place. So again, look at this beautiful Earth right over here. This is the solar system, your world. Go back in, you get nice little beach in Australia, and you have this tower in Japan. Again, you can get the details at the bottom right over here. These things are absolutely fantastic. Now when you go back out, you can also go to live data. Let's take a look at these guys. Now there are three types of live data wallpapers. Now as you can see, this is the one type, this is the other type over here, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is all one type, it's just different colors. So let's just go into this guy over here and set this as a wallpaper. Now before I set this as a wallpaper, you can read the description of what this wallpaper actually does. Watch your day unfold in beautiful gradients as time-lapse reacts to time and weather conditions. So this is going to give you a nice and translucent experience. So let's just set this up and just turn this off and on, and you can immediately see some nice effects as I unlock the screen. Now let me go back into the wallpapers over here. Let's take a look at the other one. We have this one, and this one says these shapes aren't just lost in space. Follow along as they move around the screen, hinting at the current time. So set the wallpaper. Let's see what this looks like. So as you can see, there's a little animation over here, and if I turn this off and turn it on, again you get an animation. Unlock, another animation. It zooms in a little bit, and again, so these are some really nice things. So let's go back to wallpapers. Look at that last one over here. And then you have this one, and what this one does is this gives you hinting as to the time and the weather conditions, not just the time. So set the wallpaper, and that looks beautiful as well. So these are the live wallpapers and live data wallpapers. Fantastic. So we talked about Google Assistant. So this is the, if you press and hold the home button, it brings up Google Assistant, and I can then search for things and ask Google Assistant questions, and she gets me responses. Now what you can do is you can assign yourself a nickname. So in my case, let me ask her what she thinks, who she thinks I am. So let's tap this. Who am I?
You said your name is Saki.
Exactly. So what happened was I put my name down as Saki in the Google Assistant settings, and you can put down anything you want. You can have your first initial, your last name. I can have sakitech, or I can have her call me Superman if that is what I desire. To do so, scroll over, tap this button, go into settings, and then let me go back because I was already in here. So this is the menu you're going to see in the beginning, and you're going to tap settings, then you're going to scroll down, tap on personal info, and then tap on nickname, and then from here you can edit your nickname. So I can say to her that I am, oops, let's go over here, sakitech. Click OK, and I can actually preview that by tapping this button.
Sakitech.
And if I don't like the way she pronounces my name, I can go over here and I can spell it out for her, and then she can play it as you want it pronounced, okay? But now if I go back over here, who am I?
Sakitech.
Now she thinks I'm sakitech. So this is a nice way to personalize your device and have her call you by your nickname, the one that you want. The next thing I want to talk about is called the moves. So if I go into the settings over here, if I scroll down, or let's scroll up, let's go to the top and then scroll down, and what we have here is called moves. These are quick gestures that allow you to control your phone. So if I tap on moves, you have three options. First one is swipe for notifications, then you have jump to camera, and then you have flip camera. Let's look at this one. This is the most interesting one, swipe for notifications. So as you know, on the back of your phone, you have a fingerprint sensor. This can be used to swipe down to pull down the notifications panel. So what you have to do is enable this, and then let me try to show you how it works. So if I swipe down, it brings up the, oops, there we go. So swipe up, notifications panel is gone. Swipe down, it comes down. Alrighty, so you can do it both ways. Swipe down, notifications panel comes down. Swipe up, notification panel goes back up. So make sure you enable this move if you want to use it. And the next one over here is jump to camera. So basically, if you enable this one, you can have your phone shut, and all you have to do is double tap your your power button, and it brings up the camera immediately, and you can quickly take a shot. And then let's go back into that settings menu over here, moves, And finally, if you want to flip the camera, what you can do is to switch in and out of selfie mode in Google Camera, double twist when you are in the app. And this is what they mean by double twisting. So when you double twist just like that, it switches from the front camera to the back camera and then from back camera to the front camera. So make sure you utilize the moves if you so desire. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is called the System UI Tuner menu. This is a secret menu that you have to enable. So let's go in there and take a look at what you can do with it first, and then I'll show you how to enable it unless you already have it. So if you scroll down, it says System UI Tuner. If you tap it on the top, it says Status Bar. And if I click the status bar, what I can do is, this is the status bar by the way. You see the clock, the battery icon, the Wi-Fi icon. That black bar is the status bar, and I can modify it. So let's say I don't want to see the clock on the top. All I do is tap on time and say don't show this icon, and it's gone. Or I can tap on it and I can even see the seconds if I so desire. Tap on this, there's a full clock on the top. And again, if I scroll over, let's just say I want to disable Wi-Fi. If I tap this, it is gone. So that's a nice way to customize your phone. So let me go back here, and what you can do if you have this enabled is you can tap this icon and you can remove this thing from settings. Okay, so now if I go back here, it's gone. So how do you put it back on? All you do is go into the settings and press and hold the settings icon for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let go, it spins and gives you a message. It says, congratulations, System UI Tuner is enabled, and here you are. So from here, you can make those modifications. Check, check, check. So let's go into the settings, and this tip has to do with storage management. So if I scroll down, actually let's scroll up and then scroll down, go into storage, tap on it, scroll down one more time, and as you can see at the bottom, it says explore. If you tap it, this gives you access to the hidden file explorer, and from here you can tap this button. This is the list view, this is the folder view. You can tap this button over here, you can create a new window, or you can even create a new folder, okay? And then you can search for files and all that good stuff. So this is the file explorer that is hidden in your Pixel phone. And if you tap this button over here, it's going to show you can access images, videos, audio, recent downloads. You can see how much space is left on your Pixel phone, whether you have the Pixel or the XL, and then these are the drives that are attached to this phone using my Google accounts, and you'll see that if you're using Google as well. Let's go back into the settings over here and show you the last thing I want to talk about. Actually, before I show you the last thing, let's go back into storage and tap Manage Storage. And just so you know, over here is a very important setting. So when you take a picture on your Pixel phone, you have the option to upload it to Google, and you get unlimited storage with Google as long as you have Pixel phones. Not only do you get unlimited storage, you also can upload the highest quality videos and photos online, so they don't waste your space on your phone. Now this is just an easy way to make sure that happens all the time. So if your photos and videos start taking too much space on your phone, what this option allows you to do is automatically uploads any old pictures to the Google Cloud, and then it deletes it from your phone. Hence, you get free space. So this option right now kicks in every 90 days. But if you tap this, you can switch to 30, 60, or 90. Let's go by 30, just to be safe. All right. Now the last tip has to do with data management. If I go into the settings, and if I scroll up, this is all the way on the top, data usage. Let's tap this. So when you buy a phone from a carrier, your carrier gives you a data plan. Sometimes you get 10 gigabytes, sometimes you get 20 gigabytes. The problem is if you go over your usage, you pay a lot of money. So what I like to do is I like to go into cellular data usage, tap on it, and then click this button, not that one, I'm sorry, click the settings button right over here and set a data limit, a data warning, and then a data limit value over here. So what happens is if you use this much data within your billing cycle, you get a warning. If you use this much data, it shuts off your data, so you cannot possibly use more than 8 gigabytes. And if I go back over here, it gives me a graph. On the graph, you see a 5 gig warning and an 8 gig limit, okay? So And if I scroll down, I get all these details as to how my data is being used by my phone. So this is a good way to save your money. And you can also change your billing cycle if you have to, okay? You can tap this thing and change your billing cycle. Actually, if you go to settings, you can change your billing cycle from this menu right over here. So make sure you enable a warning and a limit. Remember, the warning is just to give you a heads up. Hey, you're almost done with your data. And the limit is to shut it off if it goes beyond it. All right, so the next tip has to do with the camera. Actually, I'm going to throw in a couple tips for the camera. Just because you bought this phone, you paid all this money, and the camera is fantastic, I want to make sure you guys know everything there is to know about the camera. So let's launch the camera. And the first thing I want to see is the slow motion mode. So as you know, you can take slow motion shots, but you have two modes available. One of them is 1080p at 120 frames per second, and the other one is 240 frames per second at 720p, which is going to get you even slower motion shots, video, that is to say. And all you have to do is tap this icon, and that switches from 120 FPS frames per second to 120, okay? 120 to 240 to 120. Again, when you're doing 120 frames per second, you get slow motion video, but with 240, it gets even slower. The only difference is at 240, you get 720p as the resolution. With 120 frames per second, you get 1080p resolution, all right? So just make sure you are aware of these things. If I exit out, one more thing I want to talk about is the grid. If you tap this icon over here, you can switch between no grid, a 3x3 grid, and of course a 4x4 grid. And then there's one more option here, something else that I've never seen before, but that's also a grid. It's a golden ratio grid. Now, I prefer to have this enabled because it allows you to align your shots better. And the final thing I want to talk about in the camera is if you go into settings over here, you can actually see the back camera, the front camera, and video options for the back camera and the front camera. With the back camera, if you tap this, this is where you switch between 4K, 1080p, and 720p, okay? And then you can do the same thing with the front camera, but you can go from 1080p to 720p to 480p, which is the lowest quality you can ever get. So these are the options. You can make modifications. Now these are really simple settings here. This is not an advanced camera by any means. So there's not much going on here. Just by glancing at the screen, you can see everything that is available. One of them is the volume key action. If you tap this, you can tell the camera, your phone, to use the volume keys as a shutter over here, or zoom, or just standard volume keys, what they're supposed to do. All right, so let's go back out. So that's it. That was more than 10 tips, and I just wanted you guys to know these tips because they enhance the use of your phone. And of course, when we spend this much money on any phone, we want to make sure that we understand every aspect of this phone. I'll be making more videos with more tips and tricks. For now, I just wanted to jumpstart you with these 10 plus tips. I hope you enjoyed them. Now make sure you subscribe to sakitech, give this video a thumbs up, and have a fantastic day. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. All the links to my social media channels are down below in the description.